Hey guys, welcome to my October TBR. For some reason, September didn't sneak up on me, but October has. So my goal for my reading for October is all things cozy. I announced a couple weeks ago that I am hosting the Cozy Cottage Readathon in October, where I have a bunch of different prompts. They have two different sides. You can do the physical side of it or the book reading side of it. If you are confused, you can check out my announcement video. I have not picked out what I'm reading for those prompts. We're going to do that together in this video, and I might change things as I go. These are just a pile of possibilities. Really, it's not like this is exactly what I'm going to read, but like always, I do have a few books that I have to read for the month. The first one is my Read Your Bookshelf Challenge book. I actually don't have an actual one picked out right now. We're going to talk this through. For the Read Your Bookshelf Challenge, I am sticking to the Doyle side for the second half of the year. Once again, I have an announcement video on what that was, and in about 2 months, wow, crazy, I will be announcing next year's Read Your Bookshelf Challenge, so stay tuned for that. So this month, I am reading a non-fiction book, and I have a couple options. I have one from the library I would really like to read, so that's a possibility, but it's called Read Your Bookshelf Challenge. I've always said you can read books from the library. It doesn't have to be off your shelf, but I do have a large bookshelf that I'm trying to make smaller, my unread books, so I think I'm going to pick a nonfiction from my shelf. And the more I'm thinking about it right now, the more I'm thinking too, I should grab a nonfiction that is also on my DIY literature degree, another video that I just posted. And what makes the most sense to me is to start with my literary mentor for the year, which is G.K. Chesterton, and read Orthodoxy. This is the beloved Christian masterpiece, and this is his story, his account of his journey to faith. That is all I know. I've heard mixed messages on whether or not I'm going to enjoy G.K. Chesterton, and so my theory is then I need to read him and find out for myself. So this is going to be my Read Your Bookshelf Challenge, plus the first book that I'm going to read off of my DIY literature degree. Also, thank you to everyone for all your comments on my degree video. I got reminded of other books that were on my shelf that I've now added. This shelf here is my DIY literature degree books. There's a lot of them. Probably not going to read them all in the next year because, well, there's some children's lit on there too, but a lot of the other ones are pretty heavy. So first book done, and I could read this for one of the prompts for the physical side of the Cozy Cottage Readathon. Can I use this for a physical prompt? I actually kind of could, because one of the prompts is under the trees, and this cross, let's see if it'll focus, is like a tree in nature-y. So I might possibly use it for that. We will see how the month plays out. I have 3 books that I need to read each month this year. One is the Read Your Bookshelf Challenge. The second one is my Patron of the Month pick. So I already know it's over here. This is a library book, which still has my hold sticker on it. My Patron of the Month is Chantel, which is very hard to write because it's my name minus the T. And when you type it out or even try to write it out, my hand wants to write my own name. Anyway, she said I could read the next Mrs. Polifax book, and because I do not own the next one, I needed to get it from the library, so I have Mrs. Polifax and the Hong Kong Buddha. I keep forgetting the order. I think this is number 7. 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, this should be number 7. Definitely read these in order. These are like cozy mystery espionage series where we follow this retired lady who needed something to do with her time, so she became a CIA agent, and we follow her across the globe on these different adventures, and she is just so much fun to hang out with. So I will be reading this for that, and it might fit a Cozy Cottage prompt. This is a terrible cover. She might go on a hike in here. This cover might kind of take place in the dark. It's really hard to tell. I might look up some different editions of different covers or see what themes are throughout the book and see where I can make it fit. And then the last book is my Agatha Christie for the month. So over on my Windy Poplars tier over on Patreon, we are reading an Agatha Christie each month. And I just had to figure out where I put this month's book. Oh, it's behind here. That's why I couldn't find it. Okay. For October, we are reading The Mysterious Mr. Quinn. Now, I can't remember. I don't know if this is a short story collection. Quite a few of the books we've read this year have been short story collections. The wind rose in a mournful wail, and as it died away, there came 3 loud knocks on the big nailed door. The tall, dark stranger strode across the doorway just after the stroke of midnight, making his entrance like an actor on cue. Mr. Harley Quinn's appearance sparked new life into the quiet New Year's Eve gathering, for he was no ordinary guest. He had come to unmask a murderer. I think these are short stories because I think I've read that particular short story before in one of the short story collections. But I could be very wrong. I will find out as I read it. It's Agatha Christie. Sometimes you don't know what you're getting into. Sometimes it's a full-on whodunit mystery, and then the next time it's something very different. But I'm thankful that I'm slowly making my way through all of her books. So that one is also decently cozy, and I mean, there's definite options for what that could check off of the Cozy Cottage Readathon depending on the stories. There might be some tea. I think it starts out in the dark, so that's a possibility. There's some options there. Then everything from here on out is just fun. So I grabbed my TBR card. I cannot talk today. My TBR cards that I made for last month's video. I've made a variety of these over the years. These ones are a lot of fun. They've got some fun prompts on them that I'm gonna pick, and then I'm gonna see how these books can potentially play into my Cozy Cottage Readathon. Whenever I make readathons or things like that, they have really long titles, and it's not on purpose. Okay, so we are just going to pick a random card here. This one, fantasy. Okay, cozy fantasy. A couple of these books on my TBR card here. So some of these that are turned backwards, those are ones I've already read in September. And a couple of these I'm hoping to read yet before the end of the month. I guess you can't quite see all of them, but it doesn't really matter because I'm hoping to read those. But when I think cozy fantasy, I think this would be a great time to finish a book I started a year or two ago. I don't even remember. Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. It's very dusty. I read 320 pages last year. It must have been last year. Was thoroughly enjoying it and just kind of fizzled out. And this has all the perfect vibes for the beginning of autumn and just coziness. Like, there's a lot of talk about fireplaces and being cold, and it just has those vibes. So I feel like it has to be this one. And this could fit for so many of the prompts too. This could be rainy day next to a fireplace, maybe in the dark, and I think the guy drinks tea, so potential options. I only have, 700-ish more pages to read. That's a thick one, but I've started it already. Let's try another. Oh, I guess I should tell you what this is about. I don't really remember it. So it's set in 1806. England is beleaguered, I don't even know what that means, by the long war with Napoleon, and centuries have passed since practical magicians faded into the nation's past. But scholars of this glorious history discover that one remains, the reclusive Mr. Norrell, whose displays of magic send a thrill through the country. I don't think I've ever read the back of this. Proceeding to London, he raises a beautiful woman from the dead and summons an army of ghostly ships to terrify the French. Okay, well, there's more to it, but interesting. Not much has happened in the 300 pages that I've read so far, at least that I remember. I don't remember details of a book like I read, last month. Never mind one I started a year ago. Okay, pick another card. Let's do this one. Autumnal vibes. Okay, so I could go for something that has to do with a blanket, like has a blanket on the cover. That would be very helpful for my Cozy Cottage Readathon. Or under the trees. Oh, I have an option for that. Baking. Oh. I wonder about, I think I should choose this one. This, oh, and some sticky notes went flying. This is the Secret Book and Scone Society. Once again, I have my holds sticker on it. I've heard really good things about this mystery series, and this book in particular. It's the first book in a series. I don't know what it is, but I've been told I should skip chapter 6, and then some people say, oh, they wish they would have known they should skip chapter 6, and then some people are like, I read the whole book, I don't even remember what chapter 6 is. So I don't know, but I'm going to pass the message on to you that apparently you can or should skip chapter 6. Still have no idea. But this is a cozy mystery. Miracle Springs is a place of healing. Strangers flock here, hoping the natural hot springs, 5-star cuisine, and renowned spa can cure their ills. If none of that works, they will often find their way to miracle books. Oh yes, Nora's special talent is prescribing the perfect novel to ease a person's deepest pain and lighten their heaviest burden. So I think this would work really well for autumnal vibes. It's got baking on the cover, and there's like tea or something on there too. So we will see which one I end up using it for the readathon. But I'm going to use that book as well. Okay, this is going well. This is a really good stack of books. Let's do this one. A mystery. Okay, perfect. Mystery is just exactly what a person needs in October. What? Oh. Okay, now I'm getting stumped. I kind of want to choose this MC Beaton book. This is Quiche of Death. That's an option. Also one I got out from the library. If you guys want to see my weekly library hauls, I've been sharing them on my vlog channel. I will leave that linked below. So if you like to see what I'm getting out each week. The other option is The House of Silk by Anthony Horowitz, because this is a Sherlock Holmes novel. It's on my fiction TBR for the year. I've had it for a long time. I feel like I should read this one. Let's read the first sentence of each of them and then go from there. Oh, not preface. We gotta start with chapter 1. Influenza is unpleasant, Sherlock Holmes remarked, but you are right in thinking that, with your wife's help, the child will recover soon. Okay, not terrible, not excellent. This one is... Mrs. Agatha Raisin sat behind her newly cleared desk in her office in South Molton Street in London's Mayfair. Okay, well, I do like the large font and large margins. I think this would be a fast read. That sentence was kind of boring. So I still might try to squeeze this in October, but the one I'm officially going to try to read is The House of Silk. I'm very curious about the series. Have you guys read this Sherlock series? This is set in 1890 on Baker Street, so it's not like we're putting Sherlock in a different time period or a different place or anything like that. So very curious about it. I feel like I've heard about it, but like I don't hear a ton of people talking about it, so it makes me curious. Now, how many do we want to do? I didn't read a ton of books in September. It just happened that way with life stuff, so I don't want to make my TBR too big. Let's do this one. Indie. Okay, so an indie published book. Oh, I have so many options here. I could read an ebook, or I could read one off of my cart. I have a few. Oh, I have a few. But thinking about cozy makes me think, well, Married by Treachery. It's not overly cozy, but these are arranged marriages of the Fae. So it's like supposed to be maybe a happily ever after story. I didn't think about what this could be for the Cozy Cottage Readathon. It kind of depends on where the story goes. There's probably definitely tea in here though. Married by Treachery, I don't know either actually. I know it has to do with an arranged marriage, honestly, and the guy is very hairy. I don't know if there's any other things happening in here that would help with the readathon, but it's short. And what's on the other cover here again? We've got some daggers going. Yeah, I think I'm gonna pick this one because of how short it is, and I can check a book off of my cart. So that's gonna be my indie book for October. Okay, let's keep going. Let's do 2 more. Oh, there's 2 stuck here. Which one do I want? Let's do this one. A book that has been gifted to me. Interesting. I don't have a ton of these left. I'm thinking of doing a book an author has gifted to me. That is probably what I should do. I always have to think of which one to do. I'm kind of thinking I'm going to try The Wall because this is a dystopian book and I don't have one on my stack here yet. Is it going to be cozy? I don't really think overly, but this has to do with this is set in 2099 and there is a wall kind of in the middle of the US, and here, there's a little map for you. And so our main character is stuck inside the wall and desperate to reunite with his fiance. And I think that'd be interesting. Maybe not the most cozy, but otherwise it's a very cozy month. Okay, and then I said 1 more. Let's see. Let's go for the middle grade. Oh, the middle grade was in the middle. Okay, I've got a few different options. One that I'm not sure if I'm gonna read in September or not yet is Bunnicula. So it's like Bunny Dracula. I feel like that would be perfect for October, unless I pick something else off my shelf. Oh, this one might be good too. It's Just Ella, so it's a Cinderella retelling. I think that could be good. I just barely read both of these for a Patreon try chapter, and I liked both of them. I think I'm gonna try to fit this in September yet though. So I'll put that back, and I think we're gonna do Just Ella. So this is a Cinderella retelling. The first chapter, our main character Ella she's engaged to be married to the prince in 2 months, and she's not used to being waited upon. She lit her own fire one morning and kind of got in trouble for that. So yeah, I'm curious because I've heard a lot about this, but I always get this one confused with one that I've actually read. Can I think of that other name now? Ella Enchanted. I always get those 2 books confused, and I've read one and I haven't read the other. So because this was middle grade, I kind of want to pick one more book because it's pretty short. It'll be a quick read. I don't know which one to pick. Should we do the middle again? Let's whatever this one is. Science fiction. Oh, okay. Well, I picked a dystopian. Oh, I don't have a Frank Peretti on here. You guys, what was I thinking? I need a Frank Peretti. Wait, I think I'm debating between Monster and The Visitation, but I think it has to be Monster. This is, yeah, it has to be. Oh, I feel like all of his books need to be read in October, but I think I need to do Monster. This one is miles away from the hectic city. Reed and Rebecca hike into the beautiful northwestern woods. They are surrounded by gorgeous mountains, waterfalls, and hundreds of acres of unspoiled wilderness. During their first night of camping, an unearthly wail pierces the calm of the forest. Then something emerges from the dense woods. Everything that follows is a blur to Reed, except the unforgettable image of a huge creature carrying his wife into the darkness. Yeah, I need to read that one for sure. So this is my official TBR for the month of October. Definitely this one could have some nature in it. Probably not what I like. Monster, probably not what I was going for when I made the Cozy Cottage Readathon. Oh, they were on a hike. Yeah, maybe that one. That one would work. I'm excited about this. It's cozy with a bit of creepy, and I think it'll be a good reading month. Let me know what you guys plan on reading in October. I guess I didn't mention that it is also Victober, and I have a few books, 2 books that I'm currently reading that I'm probably gonna carry over for that as well, plus all the other books that call to me throughout the month, which is always a few. So yeah, let me know what you're gonna be reading in October.